So this is the U.S. has falsely the U.S. falsely claims that the UN reinstated the Iran sanctions, and now claims that Iran has material for a nuclear bomb. We have been saying that Iran is dangerous for a long time now, like for literally like forever, since like the 70s.
Yeah, we had noticed that today.
Wait, you put this in there?
That was just a quick video, real quick, of Pompeo just talking 44 seconds about the sanctions, just kind of backing up what you're saying. He said it
over
today.
the weekend, the U.S. effort to restore virtually all previously terminated UN sanctions on the Islamic Republic of Iran, including the arms embargo, pursuant to UN Security Council Resolution 2231. The Trump administration has always been honest about what the Iranian regime really is. A radical revolutionary and the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism and anti-Semitism. President Trump understood that the JCPOA was an abject failure. It didn't bring Iran into the community of nations or block Tehran's path to a nuclear weapon.
I like his tie, fan.
Okay, so the United States is going to slap sanctions on over 24 targets tied to Iran arms on Monday. This is part of Trump's effort to limit Tehran's regional interference. And they say the U.S. officials say that Iran would have enough fissile material for nuclear bombs by the end of this year. So fissile. So they said that they're doing this fear mongering to kind of foment this war, because this is getting really bad, especially when you go along with the sanctions. And as you heard Pompeo talk about the sanctions, this is what the sanctions have done so far, though. And I wanted to point this out because Nicole Alexander Fisher posted this. The latest U.S. sanctions slapped onto Syria have caused a major gasoline shortages. Gasoline distribution is cut by 35%. Syrian oil fields are in the hands of U.S.-backed Kurds. Iran, who also used to send Syria oil, is now under pressure from U.S. sanctions. So when you sanction Iran, you guys, you're not just sanctioning Iran. You're also affecting Syria, who you are also sanctioning. And so we are seeing these allyships form. We are seeing Iran, Syria, Russia, China, and then on the other end, you're seeing U.S. and their allies. However, the UN is really upset with the U.S. right now because of the hypocrisy of our government and how specifically the military-industrial complex and how we have handled the Iran nuclear deal. So I just wanted to do a little quick summary of what has happened in regard to these sanctions, because as of this morning, the U.S. unilaterally snaps back Iran sanctions, and they claim that the UN is also backing them, even though the UN has actually said the opposite. These sanctions were lifted under the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which is also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Trump pulled the U.S. out of the deal in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay, so France, Germany, and the UK are unhappy with the U.S., saying that the U.S. dissolved this, so the restoring the sanctions is legally void. So because we dissolved the Iran nuclear deal, then this has it's a moot point. It has no hold. So the UN Security Council has not taken any actions to restore sanctions on Iran. So the UN is claiming that no, this is not okay. We haven't taken any actions to restore the sanctions on Iran. And then the Russian Foreign Ministry claims that the U.S. is pressuring the UN with aim at turning it into a tool of the United States, bullying them as well. And Iran also says that the U.S. is bullying because of their power in markets, but they also vow retaliation. And then many Iranians have spoken about how the U.S. used to hold all this power in the markets, and, they can go around bullying people and they can get away with it. But now China has risen as another superpower. So a lot of people aren't just being like, oh, okay, the U.S. says it, so we're going to do it. The U.S. is feeling a lot of pushback from what's going on. And this situation could easily lead to heightened military action. The U.S. is right now in 2020 saying that we have weapons of mass. In Iraq, when they said it in 2001, they said that there were weapons of mass destruction. The same thing is happening in 2020 in regards to Iran. That's the same exact thing is happening. And it's scary because, again, nuclear war is one of the the things that we don't really look at because it's so far removed. It's foreign policy is so far away from us. But really, if anything were to happen, our economy goes down because we don't have a system anymore. We don't have this type of system, and the people suffer. The working people suffer. The people in Iran suffer. The people in Syria suffer. It's only these oligarchs that are fighting these wars.
All right, let's talk about something here, fam. Before we pull up the Chang thing real quick, because I know we're kind of going over right now. We've been 72 minutes, but I've been hoping and wondering and praying. You know, I had a dream one day that Maduro said, "You know what, Donald Trump, I'll give you all the oil. Take it. You just give us money and you give us funding for green energy." Currents, wind, solar. Why doesn't the Middle East and some of these countries that are always under attack of the United States, and maybe there's an answer, why don't they invest heavily into renewable energy, like fossil, and get away from fossil fuels?
Well, they're getting
themselves?
sanctioned?
I don't know. Maybe they can find out a way to do. I mean, for over the couple years, because all this talk about all the fight between power always has to do with oil, right? And we should be getting off fossil fuels anyways. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of fishing for an answer because I did have that dream that Maduro would say, you know what, we're going to use currents. We're on the water here. Mm-hmm. We're going to use currents. We're going to use solar. We're going to power grid our whole country with renewables, and we'll give you guys all the oil.
Do you think the United States would let them?
No,
do
I
that?
think they would bomb their fucking facilities.
I mean,
if
yeah,
they tried.
that's the thing.
But at least put it up there and say, okay, you know what I'm saying?
We're the bully of the world.
Get the Chinese to fund it. You know, the Chinese funded that dam in Ethiopia. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about something because really, to tell you the truth, more than anything, I would always hoped that we would be moving away from fossil fuels right now. And a lot of these fights and everything that's going on when it comes to Saudi Arabia and Ramco and the bombing of Iran and taking away the oil from Syria has to do with fossil fuels. When the hell can we move away and get away from them?
And I just want to point out, I don't know if you can go to my Twitter. This is what I was trying to say earlier, is we use the same tactics of saying these countries in the Middle East have weapons of some sort, that they are a threat to our democracy. And that's what that lady was saying in that interview. She was saying, oh, well, we have to be there. Our presence is there. It's absolutely necessary.
Otherwise, a power vacuum. You want a power vacuum? Yeah. And they were laughing. Peter Lavelle, who's a Republican, a conservative, goes, oh, my God. And even Lionel was like, you're a master of simplification. You have every single trope, every bumper sticker thing you can get out there. The nerve of you to do this here is crazy. That's my Lionel.
No, I mean, he was right. I mean, I didn't like
I
his
know
whole
you never get
climate
Lionel.
change,
you know,
climate change denial thing. But other than that, he was right. Okay, so this is a tweet I wanted to point out because,
by the way, you were talking about they always threaten people the way they say they can be dangerous and whatnot. Pompeo even said anti-Semitism in that whole thing about Iran sanctions. In other words, just labeling the whole country as a bunch of hating Jew people. And they used to have a lot of Jewish people inside of Iran. I think a lot of Jews have moved for the tension, but it's tension we fomented. So
fomented. Yeah. And so, I was just saying, in 2020's Iran has enough material to make a nuclear bomb. As 2002's Iran has weapons of mass destruction. Do you finally get it, America?
That's a great tweet.
You definitely get it.
No wonder why you got 2.5. You got 2.5001 now from me.
Well, because this is the same strategy we use time and time again to get people to say, okay, well, we need to go and protect democracy. And people still don't get it. People are still saying, well, what? Maybe Iran needs to be sanctioned because we need to protect democracy. You're literally regurgitating a narrative. You don't even know what you're talking about. It's the same bullshit strategy that they keep saying over and over and over again.